Hey, so you guys may not know this about me, maybe you do. I love princesses and fairy tales. I know, right? Whoever would have guessed that? So about, what, like 2 years ago, this really shitty movie called Snow White and the Huntsman came out, starring Kristen Stewart. And I was not enthused. Some of you may or may not have heard the story. Basically, Tarsem, who's an amazing filmmaker, absolutely incredible, watch all of his movies. So Tarsem was supposed to direct Snow White and the Huntsman, but there was some issue with the studio. He got fired and was like, you know what, fine, I'm gonna make a Snow White movie and it's gonna be better than the piece of shit that you make. So naturally I was curious. So I rented Snow White and the Huntsman from Redbox, I bought a copy of Mirror Mirror because I want to support Tarsem, and I watched them both. Mirror Mirror was better. Here's why. Number 5 is effects. Now, Snow White and the Huntsman was a Hollywood film, so naturally most of the effects in that movie were digital and done really cheaply and really quickly and really shittily. Mirror Mirror, on the other hand, had actually not a lot of special effects. They tried to do everything very much in camera and on set, and it shows. I mean, like, the performers had something to interact with. They knew what they were doing. The effects looked beautiful and they looked real. Was the thing, because they weren't acting with something that wasn't there and then like trying to figure out how to interact with it. The mirror was kind of cool, like the concept of the mirror was cool in Snow White and the Huntsman, but I mean, like, almost everything looked really cheesy in that movie. Whereas Mirror Mirror, she had like a whole realm that she went to when she spoke with her mirror, and it was a reflection of herself that spoke to herself, and it was absolutely incredible. The way that they handled the dwarves, and they grew and shrank with these like accordion legs that they fought with. And Tarsem is very much about trying to use practical effects as much as possible, and I thought it looked fantastic. The really only big like digital thing in the movie was there's a creature that comes into play at one point in the film that was done digitally, mostly because they kind of had to. But the design of it and the way that it moved was very artistic and beautiful and well done. And it was totally original from anything that I've seen in a long time. So, maybe you disagree with me. You shouldn't disagree with me. No, it's Mirror Mirror was better. Number 4 is performances. Naturally, Mirror Mirror is kind of going to overshadow Snow White and the Huntsman here because Snow White and the Huntsman had Kristen Stewart. I mean, like, she's got like one face, right? Like, literally every character that she does is just like... Anyway, Lily Collins is beautiful. You should all love her. Her eyebrows, yes, her eyebrows are massive. How is she that beautiful with eyebrows? I'm not talking about performances, I'm talking about how pretty she is. Lily Collins is beautiful, guys. She's freaking beautiful. Anyway, Julia Roberts is in it. And I mean, like, she normally is like a romantic comedy kind of actress, but like, to see her in this serious role that was taken in a really kind of entertaining, tongue-in-cheek way, but still like very solidly, decidedly evil. I mean, like, she did not care about anything except her appearance, which was really interesting to watch because I'd never seen her in a role like that. Lily Collins, amazing and stunningly beautiful. Kristen Stewart, lame as balls. Oh my god, she was so boring. She just... Snow White's supposed to be beautiful. What was that? And what is it, Charlize Theron was like... I mean, she was definitely the best part of that movie, but she couldn't even hold her own. I was like not interested in anything anyone said. And then Thor, whatever his name is, Chris Hemsworth was like, he is hot as shit. Anything that he does should be interesting. I was like bored to tears. There was no emotion in his performance, which to be fair is probably a statement on the director and not so much the actors, but like somebody did something wrong because the actors in Snow White and the Huntsman should not have been that boring, except Kristen Stewart. Number 3. Visual interest, or all-over artistry of the film. Now, I don't know about you guys, I'm really sick and tired of every Hollywood film that comes out being like a dark, gritty interpretation of the thing, which really just means they desaturate it. Watching Snow White and the Huntsman was just so dull, because their concept was like, oh, it's all dark and gritty and like a sad world, and then Snow White comes into it and she brightens the world, so all they did was raise the saturation on the image and like throw in some shitty digital flowers opening up, and I was like, really? That's the best you could come up with? You have a major Hollywood budget, what is this? And then you go over to Mirror Mirror, and that entire movie is just beyond vibrant. There's so much color in that film, and it keeps everything interesting and draws your attention to the items that you need to be looking at. There's the scene with the ball in Mirror Mirror was beautiful. The costumes that they were all wearing, because everybody came to the ball in costumes, and they were incredible, unlike anything I've ever seen. They had these amazing headdresses and these beautiful ball gowns, and every dress that Julia Roberts wore was stunning. It was so ridiculously over the top. And it really emphasized, in my opinion, how like attached to image she was. That everything that she wore had to be just ridiculous. And her castle was over the top decorated, and the games that she played were over the top. And then at one point Snow White goes into the village, and the village is very sad and beaten down and run down. And there's very little color there, but it wasn't like Snow White and the Huntsman where they just desaturated everything. Instead, it was all solidly very dull colors, like it was designed with very dull colors. It wasn't because they desaturated the image, it was because just the buildings were gray and the people were wearing brown. You know, they weren't wearing much makeup and they all looked kind of dirty. And then you have Snow walking through there in her bright clothes and everything, and she really stood out in that image. Number 2, script. I won't waste your time with like story-wise because it's the story of Snow White. I did like that they tried to market Snow White and the Huntsman like, this is a Snow White who takes charge of the situation and takes care of herself and blah, 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 blah. And she was like, oh my god, her speech that she gave her army before she like goes into battle was the lamest thing ever. If my leader gave me that speech, I would walk away. I'd be like, you know what, I am not confident that I am on the right side. I'm gonna go help out the evil queen. Okay, thanks, bye. Whereas Mirror Mirror was like, she was enthusiastic, you know, and she wanted to learn to fight. She wanted to take care of herself. She wanted to protect herself and the people that she loved from this evil force. And she did what she had to do to protect her people and to protect herself and to protect her friends and her family. I liked that a lot. And then there's just plain like the script, like the dialogue. Snow White and the Huntsman, everybody, have you ever seen a movie where like they just try to write old-timey dialogue so that it sounds really fancy, but it's not actually like, they're just saying shit that they could have just said, but they're trying to say it in a fancy way, so it just sounds confusing. I feel like that's entirely what Snow White and the Huntsman was. Like, it was very simple dialogue that they'd like expand a sentence into a whole paragraph just so they could throw like old-timey-isms into it and make it sound like foreign and exotic and whatever, and it was just stupid. And then you go over to Mirror Mirror where they were people, they had conversations, and they talked, and it made sense, and it was simple, and why do you have to complicate things? Why do they have to complicate things? I don't get it. Okay, number 1 is originality. I don't know if that's a word. Originality, whatever. / delivery of the story. Now, everybody wants to try and have their own original take on something, especially when it's something like this, where it's a story that everybody knows and everybody's heard a bajillion times. Snow White and the Huntsman was, I mean, it was exactly what I'd expect from someone trying to reinvent a fairy tale. Like, okay, well, what if in this one, the princess saves the day? What? Like, come on, guys. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's throw some twists and turns in there. Like, it was just Snow White, like the most boring take on Snow White ever. And the twist was Snow White led an army. I was like, why? And then you go over to Mirror Mirror where it was very like upbeat and like family friendly and like relatable to young and old, and the story that you're familiar with, but different. You know what I mean? I mean, like, they added in a whole other aspect of the story with like what happens to Snow White's father. You know, their handling of the prince was fantastic. They threw in this twist of like the queen is so determined to like get money for her kingdom so that she can keep being young and beautiful and spending money, that she decides she's gonna marry the prince. So like, how do you handle that, where he's falling in love with Snow and Snow is falling in love with him and the queen is trying to steal him? And they had these beautiful costumes and designs and relatable characters that were very easy to connect with. I haven't seen an original take on particularly a fairy tale that really like did something different and unique that I'd never seen before until I saw Mirror Mirror. I loved every second of that movie. I really, really cannot recommend it enough. I also cannot advise enough, do not waste your money on Snow White and the Huntsman. Don't even give it a Redbox dollar. Like, don't waste your time. That movie is like 3 hours long. It's not worth it. I assure you it is not worth it. Just go watch her like speech on YouTube. Mirror Mirror is so good and Tarsem is amazing, and seriously just go watch it. And the scene at the end is awesome. It's so random. But go, have fun. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you all so much. And I love fairy tales, and I love original stuff, and just keep it coming. Keep it coming. I love it, Hollywood. Let's do it. Tarsem, love you. You're amazing. Suggest other topics for top 5s in the comments below. Tweet me, Facebook me, whatever. I don't care. I'm around for you guys. I love talking to you. I love hearing from you. Give me feedback. Let me know what you think. And seriously, watch at least Mirror Mirror. Don't waste your time on Snow White and the Huntsman. Tell me what you think. Do you hate it? Why? Like, why is this movie not more popular? It makes no sense to me. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.